Yeah.
30 seconds. Hello and welcome. We are live on WPAT 9:30 a.m. on your radio dials. Over 30 million homes. It's pretty exciting here. We're out of New York. We got a very strong signal. We're here with the Christian Fellowship Council Worldwide, CFC Worldwide. Please join us at cfcpage.com, cfcpage.com. So we are here with a very exciting guest, someone I've known for years, but someone who's actually helped me and my family for years, Dr. Anthony Lauro. He is a chiropractor, and he just came out with a great book, Fit, Fuel, Function, the 3 F's in that order. I started to go to Dr. Lauro when he was just a teenager. He was very young at that time, but he still had white hair. So he still looks great. Welcome, Dr. Lauro. How are you? How are things going?
Oh, doing great. Thank you for having me, Gary. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, we're going live now, and I want you to go to our Facebook page. Excuse me, at Facebook.com/Christian Fellowship Council, and you can see where we are. I'm posting where we are live on the air, so people can, if you can post that out, you can see us live on YouTube, but we're also live on the radio at www.wpat930am.com. Thank you so much. So we have a lot to talk about. We have a half an hour, and so Anthony, I just want to get right into it because I want to be respectful of the time. I'm excited that you're with us because you're here for a very specific reason. You just wrote a book. Me and my family we're going to you. I think it's got to be 20 years. You were a doctor.
At least your grown kids were babies back then.
Yeah, I know. Actually, it could be 24 years, 25 years. So we went in for regular checkups, me and my family. We always discussed fitness. You and you knew that I was a runner. I was an athlete. So we had a lot in common. You were a amateur athlete. You were what was it, lacrosse or?
I played college football, and then I played rugby through graduate school up till I was about 40 years old.
Wow.
But I've been an avid exercise person, working out basically my whole life since I'm 16 years old.
And you've been a doctor for a while, a chiropractor. You worked on me many times. I trusted you. My family trusted you. So it's been great. So we're excited, but you've taken kind of a next step in your career, I would say, in that you wrote a book. But before we get to that, I want to share some people, just your background to the people on the YouTube. Please join us there. We have a bunch of pictures because you've done so much more than just be a chiropractor. Yeah, you are a weightlifter. What kind of competition is this?
Well, this is a physique competition, and
Okay.
I was training pretty hard back then. This was just a couple years ago before COVID, and I felt pretty good. And I saw that they had a class over 50, and I was 59 at the time. And I thought I needed a little bit more of a push for myself. A reason why back in the day, I used to be training for football or training for rugby, and so I really kicked it into high gear, and I entered into something I was very unfamiliar with, and I took 5th place in my class. But when I got there, I realized I had entered myself into one of the largest fitness competitions in the country, the Bev Francis Atlantic States Championships. But it was quite an experience. Met a lot of wonderful people. And
how many people competed?
Well, in all the different classifications, there was probably 250 competitors, men and women.
And you took 5th. Congratulations. That's good. You look great there. Very tan. Everybody's tan. I guess you got to get tan. But this is your main function. This is where you helped us. You were a chiropractor. You've been a chiropractor for many years. One of the things I like about chiropractors, I like chiropractors with strong hands. Okay, and because when they work on me, I want them, it makes me feel confident that they know what they're doing. One thing I don't like about a chiropractor is one that's just, they're too gentle. So what? They don't really they don't really accomplish what's needed. So that's one thing I really appreciate about you. You knew what you were doing. There was a confidence and there was a strength in what you were doing. And you were always able to correct me. Listen, I was at you a few times when I fell. Remember, I was a runner.
Yes,
I fell a few
running
times.
those trail runs, taking some falls on slippery surfaces.
That's it. I broke my ribs and I came in and you helped me out. It took a while for me to get back, but thank you very much for that. So you were helpful to me. You're still working out. You're in phenomenal shape. Listen, you already told us you're over 60. You mentioned that. So if you don't mind me mentioning that, that's again. So and you're in the gym all the time.
Well, yeah, I like to work out wherever I am. That was at a friend in Florida in Delray in his home gym. So if I'm away, I'm at the hotel or I'm at a friend's, we always find a place to, in other words, there's never an excuse not to work out. You can find someplace, something to do.
And that's what I like about running. All I need is shoes and shorts.
Exactly. Get out the door and just go.
I have been doing just a little bit of lifting, Dr. Lauro, not much, but a little bit. So not like you. Don't have those size arms. We're going to talk more about this, but I'm excited about Fit, Fuel, and Function. The book you just came out with, it's selling. This is part of your career expansion. I want to get through these pictures before we get back to it.
Okay.
Here is a famous NBA player. Tell me about who this is. He looks a little taller than you. This
is John Starks. He's a patient of mine. Been a patient for a number of years now. He's a great chiropractic advocate. He was a legendary New York Knick back in the 90s.
And just so everybody knows, you're about 6 feet tall. So that's why you look short here, but you're not.
And John was known for his jumping ability. Now he's more about golf. He's an avid golfer, and he really values chiropractic care. He wrote me a nice testimonial on the back of my book, and he's a great guy. So you have a testimony from a New York Knicks basketball player. That's pretty exciting. And he was a patient of yours. That's great. It still is. He gets regular checkups, come in for regular adjustments, and he's always at some golf tournament now. But he looks like in good shape too. That's good. He does. He keeps himself in great shape. I love this photo. You look great in this photo. So that's your promo photo, I guess. Yes. Here's the book. We're going to come back to it. How to Create Incredible Health and Fitness for a Lifetime at Any Age. Hey, That sounds good to me. We're going to get this has been an accumulation of my life experiences and health. Great. Now, not only you have a New York Knick who's been very well known, but here we have somebody relatively. Who is this, Dr. Lauro? Well, earlier in my career, before we started having kids, I would go to movie set locations and be the on-set chiropractor. So this was back when Denzel Washington was filming The Preacher's Wife. I believe this was either in Newark or Yonkers when they were filming. And interesting with Denzel is he was flying home every weekend to coach his son's youth basketball team. Wow. And I got a call from one of the assistant producers at 6 a.m. that he was flying in. He was flat on his back. He had thrown his back out, and he's at the airport now. They got him in the back of the limo. He can't sit up. He can't stand. Can you come down and help him? And they were concerned because they were setting up for all his scenes that day. And I got down there. He was so gracious. He was like, yeah, my family, all of my kids go to chiropractic back in California. He goes, I know I should go more than I do. And he was very gracious. I adjusted him, and he worked the whole day. I didn't miss a beat. Great. Look at that. Really nice. That's a great story. Denzel Washington. What a name. And here's another famous name, unfortunately. I know. So sad. Whitney Houston. Again, it was on a different day, but it was on location at the Preacher's Wife. And what was interesting, she was having symptoms of radiating pain down her arm, something that chiropractors deal with every day. Nobody in her entourage ever recommended a chiropractor. And she was having severe sinus headaches. And I adjusted her assistant, and her assistant had a headache, and it went away. So she came back out, and she told me, well, Miss Houston would like you to check her, but she's not. I was out in in a common area. She asked, so with the security guards, I went back to her private trailer, and she was explaining this to me. And I adjusted her, and her sinuses started to drain, and her arm pain had lessened a lot. And she was so excited that she kept me there talking, and I could hear on the security guard's walkie-talkie, the director at the time was Penny Marshall, screaming because she was supposed to be out on the set. And she just kept asking questions about chiropractic and about stuff. And I was, ready, willing to and able to help her out. But yeah, she was a really nice person too. I was glad to be able to help her.
That's phenomenal. Great stories there. Oh, wow, the Terminator.
Now,
Goodness.
Arnold this was at the Arnold Classic. He is a big chiropractic advocate. In fact, his chiropractor was a former bodybuilder and chiropractor, Franco Colombo. They were friends for years and years and years. You could see Franco in a lot of film footage with Pumping Iron. And,
that was his first movie. He was just some weightlifter guy. Who knew he had got these phenomenal movies making.
And you'll laugh because he got his buddy Franco into a scene. If you look at the Terminator, the original Terminator, in one of the scenes, Franco Colombo is in a Terminator scene, like a flashback from, when they do those flashbacks, and he's like underground with like a machine gun thing. So Arnold was always willing to spread the wealth to his friends, but he was a very, very nice man.
Governor of California. Yeah.
And a grip like a vice grip. The guy, I couldn't believe how strong his hand was, like iron.
Well, isn't he in his late 70s now?
Yeah, he's in his mid 70s now. This was a few years back.
Wow. Well, he's doing. This is you in the Hudson River, right?
Yeah, well, no, this is actually by Jersey. This is down by the Raritan down there, along the Henry Hudson Trail. Just showing, look, I'm all about exercise, but activities. It's just getting out and doing something, whether it's running, walking, biking, rollerblading. Activities count. And I think it's so important at any age we get out there on a regular basis and do something that's fun. So I like to get on. I don't have a fancy bike. I got a nice, what they call one of those
carbon bikes work $15,000.
But it gets the job done. And I get out there and I try to do 20, 25, 30
Tony, last year in December I entered my first triathlon. I did a short triathlon, half-mile swim, 12-mile bike ride, and a 5-mile.
Well, that's great, Gary, because I know you're not in your 20s either.
No, I'm not in my 20s, but I'm still running. I'm still part of a run group.
There you go. So, you're practicing what you preach. Yeah, I'm away somewhere at a hotel, getting a workout in the morning. I think this is in Nashville. I was visiting family out there, and every hotel has a gym now, so it's not, you can't use I'm traveling as an excuse anymore. And most of them have really nice gyms. This was nice. So I was getting my early morning work. Not as early as I usually do, but it was on vacation. Got to keep moving.
Got to keep moving. Now, here's very interesting. We know Dr. Lauro and also Dr. Russo, also a good friend of mine. Unfortunately, he's had some unfortunate news lately with his son, passed because of COVID. It was horrible. But this is going back 10, 15 years ago.
About 10 years ago, yeah, with the State Fit Seniors program. Jack Mullane was our corporate spokesperson. And what State Fit Seniors was senior-specific circuit training in chiropractic offices and senior centers around the country.
Wow.
And it was interesting that most people didn't know, Jack Mullane also graduated chiropractic school in 1938.
Whoa.
In his early days, him and his wife hung out with chiropractors regularly because back then they were really the only group that was really as health conscious as he was. So when we had approached him about the whole project, he was very open to it, very gracious, him and his wife, Elaine, wonderful, wonderful people. And I'll tell you, it was one of the highlights of my life was being around him and visiting him in his home and sitting and talking to him one-on-one and watching. He was 92 there, and I got to watch him work out one day while we were setting up for pictures. And I couldn't believe at 92 years old how hard that man could work out for 2 hours, 2 hours straight.
I think
and he filmed and did pictures all day long and then took everybody out to dinner afterwards.
Oh my
Amazing,
goodness.
Amazing. He is the standard as far as I'm concerned about health and fitness. He did chiropractic, he ate clean, he ate healthy, and he worked out regularly. He did it all.
I think he lived to 95, is that correct?
96.
96. God bless him. Well, my father just passed away in 93 last year. but he wasn't healthy at the end. There, he was in bed. So that's what we have. Now, listen, I have one last picture. I'm going to go back to your book, but we have one last picture we want to show everybody, because when you were at the competition, here's your shot of you alone.
Yeah, that was the stage shot. When you go out there and they do the pre-judging.
Yeah.
So yeah, my one celebrity shot on stage.
I think I have the exact same bathing suit there. So what we want to talk about now is, listen, you've done, I want to share your location, your website at least, so people can see a little bit about you in addition to this. And I think here it is. So, talking about your core, you've been in chiropractic, you've been in the health field for 20, 30 years, since 1989.
33 years now.
God bless you. And this is what you do. So with all that background, tell me about Fit, Fuel, and Function. It's on Amazon. Go there and buy it. Hey, it's only $7.44. You can afford that. I'm going to tell everybody, if you can afford, this is what they say at every church every Sunday, if you can afford a Starbucks cup of coffee, then you can donate. So don't buy Starbucks this week. Buy his book, Fit, Fuel, Function. It'll be good for your life. Tell us about what this book's about.
All right. Well, Fit, Fuel, Function's accumulation of my own personal experiences throughout my lifetime of health and fitness. The message is how to live a balanced and healthy life. I admire the Jack LaLannes and the Olympians and the triathletes, but I don't think the average person can or desires to live that type of restrictive lifestyle. So I believe you can have your cake and eat it too if you do things in moderation and you have metrics in place to know when you're on track and off track. So the fit part of the book is about exercise, about cardio training, resistance training, strength training, the hows and whys, the history of those, and how they benefit, especially as you're getting older.
Well, let me tell you, Tony. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I moved to Florida. There's a lot more older people down here. I would say the average age is definitely older from when I was in New York. But be honest with you, they're not. It isn't. Not a lot of people are in shape. Let's put it that way. They need something like this book.
Well, and Gary, to that point, I think a lot of people think it's all or nothing, that if they can't be committed like an Olympic athlete, then they can't be healthy and achieve their health goals or weight goals. So they do nothing. And my message is no, you could, go to nice restaurants and eat. You can go have a good time, but in moderation and balance, if you plan ahead, if you are more mindful how you're eating and how you're living, you could do it all, because that's what I do. I don't live like a Buddhist monk. I enjoy a nice dinner. I enjoy a glass of wine. I enjoy fun times with my friends, but there's rarely a day I miss working out. I eat clean most of the time.
Well, tell me what that means, eating clean, because I
try to stay away from processed foods. I try to eat more. I don't eat organic, but I try to eat more whole natural foods most of the time. I stay away from the process, and I try to stay away from overeating. I'm a big fan of portion control.
Well, let's talk about that, but in a second, tell me what a processed food is.
Processed foods are things that have been manufactured beyond nature through chemicals and processes to come up with the food you eat. And most of the snacks,
but that doesn't include French fries. That's natural, right? That's a potato, right?
Well, French fries can be kind of natural, but it depends about the oil that they're being fried in.
Right.
But a lot of snacks and different food. Look, if the label is more than a couple inches long, it's probably been a little bit over processed. And I kind of try to keep things simple as possible with my nutrition. I don't really count calories. I don't get involved too much with the macros and micros, but I try to eat it clean. I go and drink a lot of water. Stay away from the processed sugars and flours.
Do you have diet suggestions in the book? Do you have?
I have weight loss and weight maintenance suggestions, very simple to follow, things I do on a regular basis, and things that are maybe not as popular out there, but I think work better for the average person. I'm not a big fan of the fad diets. I think they all do work to lose weight, but I don't think that they're sustainable, throughout a lifetime. I
So
think you need,
I think that they say after 60, it's very difficult to lose weight. How do you what do you recommend? Do you say anything in the book about that?
yes, it's a little bit harder, but the same rules apply. Mindless snacking in between meals is unnecessary. Going for second helpings when you're really satiated is unnecessary. Eating late is usually unnecessary. And eating processed foods actually cause the body to produce a lot of fat.
Well,
So
I heard, Dr. Lauro, that when you go to the gym or you go to work out, the most successful workout in terms of losing weight is the pushback, and you push yourself back from the dinner table.
well, that's true. And the experts in that field, weight loss is really 80%, maybe 90% of how you eat, and 10 or 20% how you exercise. And people can lose weight without exercising at all by modifying how they eat. But if you don't modify how you eat, I don't care how much you exercise, you're not going to lose weight.
Well, we got about 6 minutes. Talk about fad diets. Is this intermittent fasting, is that a fad? Are you familiar with that at
No,
all?
that's been proven to be a very healthy way for the body to
Oh,
process food
wow.
and lose weight. Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes, that eating throughout the day, we're better off eating just one or two sustained nice meals throughout the day. So intermittent fasting is good for weight loss, but it's also a healthy lifestyle. My
Well,
big thing with weight loss is you gotta know where you're starting from, and you gotta monitor yourself regularly, which means you got to get on the scale. And so many people are so afraid to do that. And I'm like, don't judge yourself. It's just a tool, but you got to know where you're at, and you got to know where you're going, and you got to know if you're on track or off track and what you're doing is working. So
well,
I'm a big
Tony,
proponent of weighing
about
yourself regularly.
Tony, I used to wrestle,
Yes, that's right.
and
I remember that.
about 30 years ago, I bought one of those big weight things that you stand on and you weigh yourself. You see at the doctor's office,
Sure.
and it weighs up to the 1/8 of a pound or the 16th of a pound. And you know what? That's helped me. It's helped me. So we talked about weight loss. I want to get to the other aspects of your book. What
Let's
else are
go
you
into the
talking?
function.
Okay.
The function part is the things that we can do to help the body function at its optimal level, like chiropractic, like acupuncture, like massage, like fascial stretch therapy. And not only the body, the mind, things like meditation, sleep, emotional freedom techniques, these techniques that you could use to release negative energies in the body. So
Prayer is also part of that, I
prayer
would
is a
think.
huge part of it. Look, the experts say that health is our natural state. This machine that God created is designed to work properly. It's
Okay.
our job to put it in the right environment. And that right environment is move it regularly, feed it properly, rest it often, and have good positive thoughts. And prayer is a huge part of that. And if we could put the body in the right environment, God's creation will express itself as health and happiness and a fulfilled, joyous life. And that's my belief and always has been. The power that
Well,
made the body heals the body. It's our job to put it in the right environment.
I like that. The power that made the body heals the body. But the light just went on, Dr. Lauro. I didn't get it until you just mentioned it. Your book is really in 3 sections: fit, exercise, taking care of your body, keep yourself moving. And even you get older, you could do simple things like walking.
Yep.
Fuel, what you eat is very important. Don't eat processed food. But then function, taking the next step, chiropractic, whatever. It could be massage. It could be now talk briefly about about acupuncture. That's something I've heard about. I've never experienced, but what's your experience?
Well,
with
acupuncture works with the nervous system, and it's releasing interference in the meridians, which are throughout the entire body. And it helps with blood flow, lymph flow, and better nerve function, which are all things that help the body function better, the way it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
pretty
all
good.
these different modalities are things either delivered by a practitioner or things you could do yourself that help the body work better.
Help the body. How to create an incredible health and fitness for a lifetime at any age. So what you're saying is never too late to start?
It's never too late to start. If you're breathing, your body's trying to live and have life and express life. Again, it's our job to remove the interference, put it in the right environment, and it will do the way God intended it to do.
We have a little less than 2 minutes. It talks about water and breathing. Tell me about, you talk about that in your book.
You take breath. Yes, water is huge. Dehydration. So many older people have all kinds of symptoms, joint pain and aches, and it's simply they're not taking in enough water. Our body is about 75% water. Every chemical function in our body needs water. We need to take in water, and just because we take in a liquid, it's not the same. Water is processed differently in the body.
Well, as a runner, I take a lot of water, but one thing I want to recommend to people is drink room temperature water. You don't need cold water because it's difficult to drink, and you take a sip and it cools you down. Just drink room temperature water. That's my favorite.
That's what I do. I have my Brita thing is out on the counter, not in this fridge. Good. Absolutely. Now sleep. The body heals when we sleep. That's why we need to sleep. That's when we're the healing and repairing. So if we're not sleeping enough, then we're not repairing, we're not rebuilding new, fresh, healthy cells. And that's when we become susceptible to sickness and disease. Breathing, we kind of take for granted that we breathe, but we are such shallow chest breathers and mouth breathers when our bodies are really designed to breathe through the nose and deep into the diaphragm.
We have 30 seconds here. Dr. Lauro, is there a website we can go to find out more or to read your book?
You could go to laurochiro.com.
Lauro
on Amazon.
Lauro
Chiro.com. Or you can go right to Amazon and just put Fit Fuel Function or my name, Dr. Anthony Lauro, and the book is available on Amazon.
I want to thank you, Dr. Lauro, for being with us. 4 seconds, and we just appreciate everything here. Go buy his book and be fit, be fuel, and function. Thank you.
Gary, thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Very good. So we're off the air, and thank you, Dr. Lauro. I thought we did well. We handled all the issues. I sent you the link. It's right there. If you could see it, you see it in your text message.
Okay, you sent them a text or you sent it to my email?
No, I